Hey guys, Kellen Chase with Unstoppable Fitness, and today I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite tricks for how to get started working out if you are having trouble motivating yourself. All right, this is my favorite tip, and I've told it to multiple people, and even when I've been speaking on stage, people have come up to me afterwards and said, you know what, that one tip, that really changed my whole perspective on what it looks like to change my life around fitness, around health, around making a change in my diet even. And that tip is one that I learned from someone whose name I can't remember. He's a professor, and he does research around micro actions, habits, and commitments. And so I'll give you my background story on when I really put this into place and tried it before I drop the camera. It's an 18-story drop, by the way, so that would not be fun. Anyway, I had moved across the country, didn't really have a lot of good friends there. I'd moved for a job and had gotten settled and really, kind of didn't know where the gym was, all these things. It was maybe a month and a half, which for me was a long time, probably 2 months around that I just hadn't really been to the gym. I'd done my little, if nothing else, workouts in the morning. I'd done a few things, so I had my routine, but I couldn't get in there to really add strength. And I was really at a time where I wanted to really test my limits. There's a Greek philosopher. It's a shame for anyone who doesn't test the limits of their body when they're young, and that was kind of where I was at. But I couldn't get myself to go to the gym. It was just at the end of the day I was drained. It had been it had always been a long day, and then on the weekends I didn't want to get up. So I couldn't get myself motivated. And for me, I know, I already have it ingrained in my brain that once I start working out, I'm already going to start producing more energy for myself than I had before. So I know that once I get that cycle started, it perpetuates itself because it feels great. Your body is made to move. So when you start to get back in the gym and do those things, it just goes. So I knew this, but I couldn't get that initial go. So what did I do? I was listening to this guy, and he's talking about micro habits and micro commitments, and I said, all right, I'm going to set myself a goal that for the next 2 weeks, the only thing I have to do is drive to the gym. That's it. I literally, day one, Googled where the heck is this gym, right? Day two, and got in my car, drove to the parking lot, sat there for about 30 seconds, and drove home. Right? I literally, once I got to the parking lot, I still didn't have enough energy to go in. But I got myself, that step one, and that was enough. And day two, I did the same thing. I think it was day three by the time that I was like, all right, I can go inside. And if I think about it, I don't even think I had my gym bag those first couple days. I don't know if that paused. There was a low battery sign. Anyway, I didn't even have my gym bag those first couple of days. So eventually I was like, oh, right, I'm going to need these other things. So I put the gym bag in the car and then drove to the parking lot again. But by this time, no, it was the third day that I wanted to go home. The third day that I was like, I'm tired of this. I can't even get myself to work. I was self-deprecating and beating myself up and all that. But I was thinking all these thoughts, and then I looked up and I was at the gym, right? I'd done it a couple times, and I was I'd started my autopilot thing. So I was already at the gym and was like, oh, okay. So then day four, maybe it was that I got myself into the gym and actually got changed and worked out, and it felt great. And then it kept going from there. But it's that idea that it doesn't have to be the full hour and a half workout going from nothing. It had been so long for me since I'd been there. I was tired. Completely new environment, completely new place. Had to figure out where I was going to get food from every day. Still didn't know where silverware went in these things are taxing on the brain, right? The brain only has so much willpower, and especially a move Like I remembered the studies I was reading that a move is one of the most stressful things that a human can go through, like next to divorce or next to loss of a family member, that kind of thing. It's like we have these patterns ingrained in us. We get our brain like starts to go on autopilot around a lot of things so that we can open our mind up for other things, right? So me not knowing where the silverware is, like every time I have to like use more mental energy to figure that out, and then I don't have the mental energy left to push myself to go to the gym when I feel like taking a nap, right? Like those are the types of things that I was looking at. So the other example that I gave of this like micro commitment, right? It was driving to the gym. I just drove to the gym every day, didn't even go in. It was just, I made it part of my loop. I attached it to another thing that I was already doing, which was driving home, and I got myself there. The other example of this is, like, if you have trouble flossing your teeth on a regular basis, floss one tooth. Like, that's it. It's literally, because the biggest part, the hardest part to get over is getting the floss out, wrapping it around your fingers, and then getting it in your mouth, right? So if you floss one tooth, you've done most of the hard work. The same with getting to the gym. It was, the hard work was making sure I had my gym clothes and getting myself into like the parking lot, right? By that time, it's so much easier to just say, all right, I can walk inside, And like, I still gave myself the permission through that 2 weeks to, if I just want to walk inside and really, really don't feel like it, I can leave. Like eventually I started putting more leverage on myself once it was easier, because there's another thing, right? There's this social aspect. Like the gym that I'd been to here, all the gyms here, I knew people. Like I knew the type of people that I was going to be working out with. I knew who the snarky gym people were. Like I knew who the haters were. I knew who the nice people were. I didn't have to like worry about all of those other social aspects again. And being in a new place, I think I was a little bit lonely or something, so I cared a whole lot more about what people thought of me. But I remember that was actually a big aspect for me of like, what are people going to think of me when I'm in the gym? Like, am I going to have to show off, or am I going to have to blah, 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 or, like just all kinds of crap running in the head. But like, it's that same type of thing. It doesn't really matter what the resistance was. It just mattered that I had the resistance, and for some reason I couldn't get myself there. So the trick was to just make it a micro thing, make it as small as possible, make it easy for myself to give myself a win and a thumbs up, and like just go from there. So try this out. Like, pick something that has been resistant for you, something that you've wanted to change. Pick something that you want to change in your life right now. Just decide what it is and make the smallest possible action. Make an action plan. Say for the next 5 days, next 7 days, next 14 days, you're going to do one thing, right? You're going to floss one tooth. You're going to do one push-up. You're going to, I don't know, you're going to delete one email. I'm currently going through an email purge right now, so I'm like trying to organize my digital life a little bit more. But like, pick something and try it, and realize that like, it doesn't have to be the whole big thing. Like, it doesn't have to be the hour-and-a-half workout after a mobility training followed by sled pushes and uphill running so that you get your conditioning in. Like, it doesn't have to be all that on day one. It can literally be just drive to the gym. So pick something, and let me know what it is. Let me know in the comments. I want to know what your tiny, super small commitment is that you're going to make today, that is going to change your life and move your life forward. So let me know. I've been Kellen with Unstoppable Fitness. Stay strong, stay healthy. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you later.